So this is question number 3 of homework 6 for chapter 5. So let me first briefly read the setup. Consider a production process represented by the total product curve, the average product of labor curve, and the marginal product curve. And so now if each worker produces an extra unit of output, how do total product, the average product, and the marginal product change? And plot these curves. So how will the TP curve change, the total product curve change? If we think about this, so now if we have one neighbor, and this neighbor now generates one more unit of output relative to in the past, so the TP, the total product, should also increase by one more unit. So that's when the neighbor equals 1. So now if we add one more neighbor, so hence the total number of neighbors is 2. So each of them generates one more unit of product. Hence the sum of these two becomes 2. Hence for the two workers situation, the total product should increase by 2 rather by 1. So continuing this line of thinking, if we have 3 workers and each of them generates one more unit of product, hence the total product should increase by 3 units, and so on and so forth. So with this thinking in mind, we can now draw this TP curve, the new TP curve. Starting from the origin point, as we said, if we have one neighbor and this neighbor generates one more unit of output, so the TP curve shifts up by one more unit. Originally, we seems to be at 3, so now the new one should be 4. And now if we have 2 neighbors, originally this is seems to be 6, and as we said, each of them generates one more unit, so altogether they generate 2 more units. So this TP curve shifts up by 2 units, and for 3 neighbors it shifts up by 3 units. So originally it's 12, so now we should plot at 15. And finally, for when the neighbor equals to 4, originally it's 16, so now it should be 20. So that's our new total product curve, TP2. And for the second part, it asks for the average product curve. So the average product curve, probably it's it might be helpful to actually I just did this exercise here. I can show you what I did. So the AP, this stands for the original average product. This equals the total product divided by the labor. And this AP star, that's the new average product. So again, because each of the L labors here generates one more unit, so altogether they generate L number of units for the product. So the new total product becomes Q, that's the original one, plus 1 times L, and divided by L labors. And that equals, for the first part, Q divided by L, that's Q divided by L. That's the original AP, average product. And for the new one, plus 1 times L divided by 1, so that's 1. So that says that the new AP curve, AP star here, is shifts up relative to the original one, Q divided by L here, by 1 unit. And this shift is the same 1 unit everywhere. So that's the difference between this AP curve, the new AP curve, and the new TP curve. So now we can draw this new AP curve when everywhere shifts by 1 unit. So originally it's 0, so now it's 1. And I believe this orange line seems to be the orange line. That's the AP curve. So when neighbor equals 1, the AP is 3, so now it should be, it's 2, so now it should be 3. And when neighbor equals 2, The AP is 3, so now it should be 4. So everywhere shifts up by 1 unit. So that's our AP2. And finally, it asks for the MP, marginal product. So with the information given by the setup, we can easily derive the new marginal product curve because each neighbor generates 1 more unit of product. So the marginal product of each neighbor must be 1 unit above the marginal product of the original situation. So that also says the new MP curve should shift up relative to the original marginal product curve by 1 unit everywhere. So it's also starts from 1 here, and this yellow line here is the yellow curve here, that's the MP curve. So we should be careful. It's a little bit messy, but as long as we are careful, I believe we should be fine. So 1 more unit is right here, and here 1 more unit is right here, and 1 more unit is right here, and 1 more unit is right here. So that's our new MP curve. So now let's check our answer. Good job. So the upshot of this question is that for the TP curve, the amount of the upward shift depends on the number of labors, but for the average product and the marginal product, it's always the same. It's constant.